yelling at the kids, burning out because you have too much to do, and broken relationships, never feeling quite good enough, not feeling seen, heard, respected for all the work you're doing for all the other people, and just then resentfully not getting enough back. Those are all trauma symptoms. You are having much more impact than you realize. What if you stopped being afraid of being judged? Hi, and welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. The episode today is for you if you have some goals, you have some things you want to accomplish and change. And I don't care in what area of your life. If it is that you're a mom who wants to have more patience or more like specific kinds of parenting skills and you want to keep practicing that so that you become a better mom for your kids, or it's for your health, like you have weight loss goals and you know exactly what it takes to get it done, but it's like, it becomes boring and it's the routines and it starts weighing you down. Or even if it goes about your professional life, there's something new, some new skill, new training you want to take, and it takes some discipline to go through it, take the steps, do the practice, do the learning, start applying it in real life, in whatever area of your life. What I'm usually catching the pattern in myself and in my clients, in the women I work with, is that initially you might have this like a boost of energy and you're like, yes, let's do this, and I'm motivated and I want to become the better version of myself for whatever reason. I know what it takes, I have the strategy, now just let's go and do it. And then after a few days, in better case after a few weeks, you realize like, it starts weighing you down, it starts feeling heavy, and your to-do list keeps growing. And because exactly you're not just a mom, like you're having so many different areas of your life that you're trying to juggle at the same time, and it feels like not even balls that you're juggling, it's like an avalanche who keeps falling at you even more. And it's like, no, it's becoming too heavy. And you start dropping things off that to-do list. And you start avoiding the action you know is going to lead you to the result you want. And you start feeling like a victim of that heavy schedule and to-do list. And the heavier it is, the more it feels like, I don't want to do any of this. And that's how from that initial stage of big excitement and big dreams and big goals, you reach to the point when you're too exhausted and you're just like, I could not care less. And you kind of like fall back down, and not even to the level where you were before. You fall even lower in your mood and energy, because now not only you don't have the result, but you feel even more disappointed with yourself. Like, oh my goodness, I'm here doing it again, the same pattern. I'm disappointing myself. How come other people can get this done and I can't? How come other people have 4 or even 8 kids? Oh my goodness, I just heard from a mom who has 8 kids. Could you imagine? Other people who have 8 kids and they're doing so much better than me, and I have only 1, like my case, I have only 1, and I was yelling, right? What the heck is wrong with me? How come I cannot get these basic things done? And I collapse under this heavy to-do list, and it feels boring and it feels too much, and then you just feel like giving it all up and running away. So how to prevent this from happening? What is really going on? Why you should stop wasting time looking for some smart whatever time management techniques and to-do list techniques so that you can become even more efficient and do even more in even less time. Like, that's all madness. Can you see how is that working for you? Right? So isn't it time we start looking underneath? What is it really that's going on? Why do you keep getting like started and excited and you start something new and then you get bored and disappointed and you start avoiding taking the action and then you like collapse again? How to stop this pattern from coming and going so that you finally you start getting the results, you reach the goals you want, no matter if it's around your kids, your health, or your professional life, and you make it sustainable in the long run. Because I don't have to tell you, there's a part of you who already knows. Whatever goal you have, most of the time, it's not just a one-off when you get lucky and you get it. Most of the bigger life goals, whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's a process. It's not a one-off thing, right? It takes some time to develop either the skill or put in the work, put in the time and energy so that you can see the results. And if you keep quitting And then restarting, it takes even more of you, right? So how to stop that so that you can finally see the result? You can finally get, if not to the end, you get much closer to your goal. And rather than feeling like you have to keep pushing the snowball that keeps getting bigger, the higher you go, and then it just rolls over you and kills you in the process, how rather than this pushing and keep feeling like you need to spend more and more of your energy, you actually feel it pulling you up. And it becomes fun and it becomes easier, and you start feeling the momentum and you feel excited about taking the action because you feel like you're getting closer every day, and it gives you this buzz, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's possible, I'm going to do it. Really, am I going to do it? Yes, yes, yes. How to get there? Want to know? Let's dive in. Okay, here we are, Supermom. Hi, my name is Elena. I call myself a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to be specialist at yelling at my daughter. And so this was one of the skills I wanted to grow. I wanted to get better at how to have more patience, how to have more of this, feeling centered, feeling grounded, so that no matter how busy my to-do list is, no matter how much my daughter was crying, whining, not listening, I could stay centered. This was one of the skills I had to work on to improve. And if that's what you're struggling with, I'm going to send you to our yelling breakthrough training. You can get it for €27, and it's going to give you the answers on how to do that. But here, the conversation I want to have with you goes much further, because I catch this pattern still in myself, even in my clients who are already inside the Zen Supermom program. Is like, okay, we even give them the path. I do explain to everybody at the beginning, this is not a one-off shot. I'm not here to lie to you and promise you there's a one secret formula that you just tell your kids, wave the magic wand, and they will never trigger you again. They will always listen the first time you ask. They will never disobey you, laugh in your face, or hit their sibling. That does not exist. Please get that out of your system. That doesn't exist. It does take work. It is a process. Even once you get the right tools, you need to put in the energy in the practice. Now, even with me having perfected the system over the last 5 years and making it so simple that even moms of 4 kids, ADHD brain, crazy hormones, full-time jobs, single, expatriates with no family on a standby whenever the kids get sick, they can do it because it takes only a few seconds at a time. But yet, I noticed a pattern. Some of them are still struggling. They do it. They start practicing. They start their practice. They do it several times a day. They keep going for the first week or two. They see the result. They are excited. And then they reach this peak and they're like, oh, but it's too boring, and I'm not here where the others are doing, and they're getting more results faster, and what's wrong with me? And I'm disappointed at myself, and maybe it's not going to work for me in the end. And then they are just they stop practicing, and they're like, woo, and start sliding down the hill again. So I got curious, and I just got a reminder of that last week when one of my clients, because we are always sending all clients check-ins on Fridays, especially for the first few weeks, to check weekly and let us know how they are doing, celebrate the wins, and share the questions, share the struggles so that we can support you. And so she was sharing in her check-in something that I hear in almost every group call done inside the program. She was saying, okay, I was doing the practice. It was working. The first few weeks, it was so amazing. I felt the results. And then it started feeling boring, too heavy. I started being resistant to the process. I realized I'm avoiding it. I'm postponing it. I'm not in the mood. And I always say, I will do it the next day. No, today I cannot because I have these excuses. And so I was like, okay, this email is the perfect example. Yeah. And so my response to this mom was first of all, this is a huge celebration because you didn't let that pattern stop you from sharing with me. And actually the fact that you are sharing your check-in is the first win. The second win is that you caught the pattern, that you're able to celebrate and see that you had the wins. It's not about the process. You had the wins, the process is working. But you noticed your own trauma pattern underneath, which is the avoider and the judge. like judging yourself for not living up to your unrealistic expectations, and the avoider that tries to pull you away whenever it's like too boring or too heavy. So well done for recognizing the pattern. And I coached her through it, yeah, so that she can get out. But where I want to get here with you, because you don't have access to all of the Zen Supermom materials unless you're already a client. In that case, I'm going to send you to the Identity Masterclass you have in the additional resources. But for anybody here, because most of you who will be listening, you're not a client yet, so I still want to help you. Of course, this is not just like a podcast teaser episode for the program. So this is where I'm going to help you see what is it that you're missing. Because this is a very common trauma pattern for so many of us, and me included. I still keep catching it in my life as well. The reason why it feels heavy to keep pushing for any new habit you want to build, for anything that is a process that takes time, that you need to practice developing some skill, or it's a cumulative result. That it doesn't matter that you don't eat sweets today. If you want to have a ripped body by the beginning of the summer, you need to be taking some actions daily. You need to be focusing on your nutrition and exercise daily. It's not enough to do it just one day and then other 6 days of the week, just like flip it, right? So whenever you want to get results that depend on consistency, that actually can get boring over time, and that it can make you feel like it's heavy, and it's like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have to, and you notice yourself sliding back. Then the first thing we are doing with our clients is, first of all, create your vision board. And I know, that's such a groundbreaking advice. I would have laughed at it myself if I heard it like 10 years ago, because like, what? You don't have anything better? Wait with me. Like, wait, this is just the first step, but it is crucial. And if you heard it and you never actually took the time to create any vision board, then well, that's why we are talking now. That's why you're stuck. The first step always is you need to have your why, the reason why you want to get there. It needs to be crystal clear in your mind, and you need to keep reminding yourself as often as possible. Because if there is no deeper why, if the reason why you want to get it is not deeply rooted in your emotional state, let's take that even one step further, because it's not really about the things you put on your vision board. Like the things you want to buy, the thing like including even like your clothes, if we talk about the weight loss example. It's not about the places where you want to go. It's not about like the thing where you live. It's about how do you believe those things are going to make you feel once you get them. That's the emotionally deeply rooted feeling we are after, okay? And that needs to be very clear, because that's the first easiest way how you can make your goal pull you, so that you can stop pushing and spending energy. But is that enough? Of course it's not. That's why, like, even if for those of you who are doing vision boards and stuff, it just ends up being a pretty picture on your table. But nothing happens, because whenever you feel exhausted and overwhelmed by all the other stuff you have to do, you're just like, no, not today, right? So it's not the only step, but it's the first step. Start with the why, okay? Because if the why is not strong enough, if your reason, the positive outcome, is not stronger than the pain you're currently feeling, the pain of doing the daily action, the pain of things being boring, if that's not like, if your reason why is not heavier than that, then you're not going to do it, right? Logical. That's the first thing to do. Second thing that I noticed, and that's why I was sending my clients to go to the Identity Masterclass that I did last year, and it's recorded for them in the program, is because, and I think I even did a podcast episode about it. I'm going to ask my super team in the background who's managing this podcast to help me find the link. We will link it for you, because I bet I already mentioned the identity switch in some previous episodes. So I'm going to just briefly go over it again here for the purpose of like completeness. The most common reason why people don't stick with healthy habits, even though they know they are important, even though why the clarity of their vision is very crystal clear. The reason why they don't do it is because their identity didn't move. You're still acting and feeling from the point of the old you. If I use, and I keep using the health or the weight loss example because it's just like the one that resonates maybe the most, and it's easiest to imagine. Even if you have a pretty picture of yourself in bikini when you were 18, even if you have that on your fridge, it's not going to do much for you unless you shift your identity from feeling like the whatever fat, sad, hopeless person you might be feeling right now. That's how it used to feel. That's how I used to feel in my lowest moments. Unless you shift to the identity of who is the person actually that I want to become. The person who's feeling the feelings that I wanted to put like on that vision board. The person who already got there. How is she doing? How is she feeling? How is she thinking? What are her priorities? And how can I embody her right now? It's not that I'm going to become that person one day, if only I take enough action, if only I stay consistent. How do I be her now? Because it's her who needs to call the shots. It's her who needs to tell me what I should have for lunch and what exercise I should be doing when. It's her because she already knows, right? And that's the identity shift that needs to happen. And that's another thing that will help you. It will pull you towards the desired future rather than you trying to feel like you need to push for it and it's heavy and it's boring and you want to avoid it. Make sense? We are going to link the identity podcast episode for you because I believe we were talking about that. I was talking about it there. But why I wanted to do this episode, and because I wanted to take it even third step. I wanted to take it one step further. And that goes from my own personal experience now that I just, like, it's fresh because I just went through it. That was my breakthrough over the last weekend. So that's why I was like so excited to share. I decided to write a book. The first book about Zen Supermom. The reasons were multiple, multiple great reasons. One of them being, and the last nudge was that I still, after years of doing this work, I just received an email with somebody who was on assessment call with me, who was completely convinced I need to do this work. But because of her professional life, working as a fraud expert or something, she sent me a message saying, well, I'm sorry, but don't take it this personally. But if I wanted to do a fraud or scam or some of a business to just like lurk money out of people, I would probably do it the way this is done. Just put somebody trustworthy on the front of the face of the company and then just suck the money out at the back and make it a scam. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, right. Okay, that's fun. And I realized, well, part of the way is how to build the credibility and how to show people like this is the real me, and that's what it is. And it's actually easier for me to be me and help people this way rather than try to fake some intricate scam and pretend. That would actually require much more work and skills I don't have. But I was thinking about, well, yeah, finally it's time to write the book. It's one of the things how you let people know, even in the times of AI, when you can actually like let anybody write anything and pretend they know anything. But I was thinking this is additional aspect, and this is additional reason why I should stop postponing writing the book, stop playing small, stop feeling like, who am I to write a book? Like, do I have enough years of experience? Do I have enough case studies? Do I have enough proof that my method works? It's time to stop questioning myself and just go and do it. So this was like the final kick in the butt. And thank you so much. If you're listening, you know who I'm talking about. Thank you so much for the final kick in the butt. But this is where then it got interesting. And that's why I'm mentioning it in this podcast episode, talking about things that take consistent action, because I got in it and I started preparing, okay, what could be the structure? What kind of book do I want to do? And the first day when I made that decision, okay, I'm going to write a book, it felt great. I felt high. I felt like, okay, something was released in me, and I felt Like, yeah, I'm getting closer to the version of me I know I'm supposed to become. I'm making a bold statement for myself. I didn't even tell anybody else, right? But for me, you often, do you have that as well? Once you make the decision, even without telling anybody, it already feels like, like something wakes up inside of you and it feels so exciting, right? So that was my reaction the first day. And then the next day, I woke up and I felt the weight of it. I was like, so now I have to actually do it. Like, how is that even going to be possible? Like, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, summer is coming, my daughter is going to be at home with me most of the time. I'm running a team of whatever, how many ever people, I don't even count, 3 plus 3 plus 1. And I'm training 3 new coaches, which is another thing. I'm developing a coaching training, which I've never done like before to this extent. So I'm creating the training as I go with the new coaches. And it's like just so many different projects on top of supporting current clients and opening the advanced level of the Zen Supermom program now second time. So again, putting high expectations of people and taking care of them that we can reach even higher goals together, and then having to prove it and then having to create like everything. So like tack, so many things to get done. And are you kidding me? Like there was this part of me who was talking like, are you kidding me? And now you want to put even more on your plate? Like, is this the hyperachiever sneaking out its ugly head again? Like, do you want to overwhelm yourself just to prove something to somebody that you're good enough? Is that why you're writing the book? To prove anybody that you're a real person? And are you like, is that going to, what price are you going to pay for it? Are you going to burn out? Are you putting too high expectations with too short timelines? And it felt like, oh, okay. That was the second day. So I started questioning it. Like, maybe, yeah, the goal is great, but maybe I shouldn't do it now. Maybe I should do it later when it's more calm and after the holidays and yada-da-da-da. And I felt like resistance because the first day it was clear, okay, so I'm writing a book. Let's do the structure. Let's start writing the first chapter. And so normally the steps should have been clear. But with this kind of mindset on the day after when I woke up, I was like, no, too much work. I'm not going to do that. It's like, no, I have no time for this today. It's not my priority. I think no. Right? And isn't it interesting, right? This is exactly about talking like at the beginning, you have the energy and you see the goal and you feel like, oh my goodness, part of me got released. And then it comes to the execution and it's like, can I even do this, right? Well, that was the second day. My story would not be complete. I would not be sharing it with you if that's where it stopped, right? You can already imagine that's not where it's going to stop. So the next day, because I keep, obviously, working on myself. I don't consider myself a perfect example of anything. I don't never put myself on a pedestal claiming that I'm perfect and I have it all figured out. I am still work in progress myself, and I practice every single thing I teach and preach and coach to my clients. So of course I caught it, what happened on second day. Of course I got curious about it. So rather than judging myself for letting myself fall back down so early on, I got curious. And I realized this was the breakthrough shift for me. That's why I want to share it with you. I realized rather than trying to work through my limiting beliefs, like what is the fear that's sneaking out? What are the generational beliefs that are here at play? That is it my not good enough playing again? Is it my fear of failure playing again? Or am I shrinking back to playing small to be safe and avoiding taking risks? Rather than doing that, which would be my normal way of like coaching myself and working through my own healing, I was like, because this is one of the things that we are doing in the Zen Supermom program this month. Each month we have a theme. And the theme of this month is I'm teaching my clients to become their own coaches. And one of the most powerful coaching questions I ever learned was, it starts with, wouldn't it be fun if? Wouldn't it be fun? And you fill in your blank. So I was feeling, well, this is what I started doing with myself, coaching myself, feeling like, well, wouldn't it be fun if there was some other way how to get myself out of the rut? Rather than focusing on finding what is the trauma that I need to heal, what is the limiting belief or the brain pattern that is pulling me down, wouldn't it be fun if there was actually more fun way to do that and make, how do you call it, like a quantum jump, make a quantum leap, rather than trying to have incremental results in my well-being and in my mindset, rewiring it from that old trauma, how I was taught as a little girl that who are you to have big goals? Who are you to think you can even accomplish anything, like even writing a book? Like, who do you think you are? Rather than doing incremental healing steps with that through some methods, I was like, well, wouldn't it be fun if I could just make a quantum jump? And rather than getting partial results in my healing, I could just like blow it out of the water and just have fun with it. And this is when I feel like when your mind is ready, the right resources, the right teachers will appear. And this is what happened for me. So I came across a concept called Moonshot. A moonshot meaning the key of the concept is whenever you feel like, whenever you would share your goal, your dream with somebody, and they wouldn't laugh at you thinking like you're completely insane. Like, what the heck is this, a crazy idea? Are you crazy? Of course you can't do that. If that's not their reaction, your goal is not big enough. And I was like, this is exactly the kind of ridiculous, open, fun, light energy. Because what do you have to lose? If your goal is so ridiculous, nobody's going to believe you're going to do it anyways. Like, we have nothing to lose. Why wouldn't I just entertain my brain rather than drowning in this like murky, heavy, dark, blah, slow, stuck energy of the mud? Why wouldn't I pull myself up just like to daydream? Well, what do I have to lose? Yesterday on day 2, I didn't do anything about my book anyways. I was stuck. So if day 3, I don't do anything about my book anyways, well, at least I'm going to be having fun. I'm feeling like, wouldn't it be fun if, right? If I created my moonshot. And the fun about the moonshot concept is it really stretches it ridiculously. So the key of the moonshot is, well, what is the big idea that you would like to make happen that would either help 1 billion people, or that would make a revenue of 1 billion of whatever currency, money. And because I'm not doing business, I didn't create my business it's not about money for me. It is about helping people. So then I went and I asked ChatGPT. I was like, because my mind clearly is too limited still. If even the idea of writing a book is too big of a stretch for me that I have to work through, then I need some bigger guns to help me with this and be like ridiculously, outrageously huge. So I asked ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, based on everything that you know about me, what I do, who I help, how I help them, what could be my moonshot idea for my business? How could I help 1 billion people by doing what I do? And of course, the AI is so smart. So within a few seconds, I just saw the words, the sentences writing. And as I kept reading, I started reading it before it was fully written. And my smile just grew bigger and bigger. So first of all, what it did for me, I realized the response of AI was not like, oh, you're so ridiculous, like forget about it. Who are you to think about doing these things? No. AI told me, well, isn't this fun idea? Of course I know. I am, because I asked it, are you familiar with the concept of a moonshot? So how would my moonshot look like? And so, of course, this is a brilliant idea. Yeah, let's have fun with this. This is how I can see you could help 1 billion people. And this is what it would take. This could be the plan. And these could be the next steps. And this is how we could make it happen stage by stage. And this alone, without even thinking about like, okay, so now I have to do it. I was just like, something cracked open. I was like, why not? This is actually like this could be a plan and the method, because it does work. Like, what if it could help 1 billion people? And just like take it as a polar opposite of, no, I can't, and the book is too much and it's too heavy and blah, 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 spiral down. This just helped me spiral up out of that whatever limiting generational, just keep quiet, be seen, not be heard, don't make too much noise, what are people going to think about you, they're going to judge you for whatever, being too arrogant, thinking who do you think you are, blah 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 blah, pull me up to the place where I had fun, and when my eyes started like sparking with excitement, like just as an idea, who says I need to do this, but if I wanted, maybe I could, maybe over time. Wouldn't it be fun if I could? So this is why I'm sharing with you. Because this was the moment when I realized like it's not about doing the thing, getting the goal. This is actually a brilliant strategy that works for me. Try if it works for you. But for me, it was brilliant because it pulled me out of the mud. And rather than trying to get incremental 5% result and improvement, that was the moonshot on its own. It was a moonshot in my brain where it completely opened and it expanded. And so from then on, also then coaching myself through it and realizing it's not about creating action steps on your to-do list that feel like so heavy, so then you have excuse for postponing them when you already have a full day. I started again going to the concept of micro habits. So what is the one thing that is so small that I have no excuse of not doing? And thanks to this breakthrough, then it started feeling, rather than action point on my already full to-do list, it started to be the thing that I look forward to doing. That actually creates the spark. That out of all the other stuff on my to-do list, that's the one I look forward to. Because I know that every single time, every day I take that even mini step, I know at the end of the week, at the end of the month, it's going to accumulate and it's going to bring me so much closer. And that even the action of it will feel like I'm in movement, I'm moving, I'm progressing, I'm not stuck anymore. And I'm proving to myself that yes, I can. And it does not have to feel heavy. Once that, again, to the vision that just got multiplied exponentially through the Moonshot Concept. Once that vision is clear, it's going to pull you. So this is actually my hack, and it's not even mine. Like the credit could go to Vishen Lakhiani in Mind Valley, and then Naveen Raj, I think is his name, for the Moonshot Concept, because he literally created a company that started flying to the moon. That was the first commercial flights to the moon. So it was not my idea. But again, why not stand on the shoulders of the giants who figured something out? It's not just that you need to be some megalomaniac with huge ego or savior complex to be dreaming big. You're not just a mom, even if all you do now is, I call it home CEO, even if your work is being the CEO of your household, you don't have any job or business. Why couldn't you benefit from these ideas, these concepts, and this psychological dynamic of healing trauma by just skipping it all the way? Not to be mistaken, I did my baseline work. I did a lot of trauma healing, and this is why, like, also speaking to our clients in the Zen Supreme program, that's why all of the methods we teach you there, they're valid, and you need to go through it, and you need to be taking that daily action. But this is like the sprinkle on top, how to make it more fun. Because the moment you find the leverage on yourself and your psychology, the moment you can actually turn it into fun, and rather feeling like, oh, it's such an obligation and I feel they're telling me what to do, so I want to rebel again like the child, and I want to not do it just to prove them like mad, just to make them mad and make them feel bad. Like the moment you slide into that trauma energy again, it becomes so heavy, right? So this is just additional thing on top. Maybe if that works for you, if that serves you. If it doesn't, feel free to like, who am I to tell you what to do? This is an invitation for you to get playful. And maybe if there's only one person who will be listening or watching this and who will resonate, then it was worth it. Then it was worth my time. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this podcast. That's why I'm doing, like, spending so much time for free even still. Like, some people will be like, oh, you should turn it into a private podcast and charge money for it. I'm not interested in that. I want that whomever is open to it and who wants to listen and who resonates, that they get access at least to these basic tools that are easy to share through a podcast. Yeah. And let this be one of them. So wouldn't it be fun if you played with your moonshot? Whatever goal that you have, whatever obsession, not just passion, not just like, the purpose is the word that is thrown so often around. But whatever the vision, the identity you have for you, wouldn't it be fun if you started blowing it up out of proportion just for the fun of it? And it doesn't matter, like the more ridiculous and crazy and impossible it is, but the more sparkle in your eye and the bigger smile and grin it gives to your face, that's the signal you're into something good. And how could you leverage that so that you feel whenever you need to be, it will be down to these boring things. Like my book is not going to write itself, even with AI and ChatGPT, even if it can help me to some extent. It's me who's going to need to take a daily action, because that's what I know it works best for me. Chunk it down to the smallest piece of action possible, but just like get going with this day in, day out. It's going to take some boring discipline for me, but it's not going to feel heavy anymore. I'm not going to be wasting my willpower in trying to force myself into it, because right now, I just, like, you see my face, I feel pulled to it. I feel excited because there's a bigger meaning underneath. So I'm not saying you should be here to save the world, because if you don't, then you're not playing big enough. I'm saying even if your goal is really your own health, it's not like helping 1 billion people lose weight. It's you. But then play it all out to realize it's never just you. Who is there watching? Maybe they're not listening as much as you would want. But who's always watching what you do and how you speak to yourself, how you keep your own boundaries, how you keep your own word? Who is there? It's your family, it's your kids, it's your partner, it's your own parents, your siblings. You are having much more impact than you realize. And what if your moonshot was related even to that? I'm not saying you have to do it for others, like you have to be perfect because your kids are watching, so watch out if you eat a piece of chocolate, shame on you. That's not what I'm saying. How can you use that awareness of your ripple effect? What kind of effect you have on other people without even trying, without even doing anything really, because they're just watching you. And you, just by being you, you're either challenging their belief or you're inspiring them to take the action. Yeah. How could you use that as your moonshot, as your inspiration, as your fuel to keep going even when it gets tough and it gets boring and your days get full? Yeah. So this is all I was trying to do. Open up as an invitation. And by the way, for anybody who's still here and listening, for anybody who's like a fan of the podcast and of this mission for a while now, my team just reminded me, I already did mention it, like my moonshot kind of way, like my dream, my vision for where this Zen Supreme movement is going. I already shared it in some previous podcast episode, but I wanted to tell you more behind the scenes of what the moonshot actually is. So when I did that, I actually created not just one this weekend, but I created 2 moonshots. So the first one was about, well, how could I help 1 billion people through the trauma healing we are doing? How to help people heal the trauma they don't even know they have. It just manifests as yelling at the kids, burning out because you have too much to do, and broken relationships, never feeling quite good enough, not feeling seen, heard, respected for all the work you're doing for all the other people, and just then resentfully not getting enough back. Those are all trauma symptoms. And just like me, I didn't know that was what trauma classified as. So that became my mission, to help especially women, because as moms, sorry dad, but as moms, nature somehow gave us this advantage. Our kids respond and learn from us like significantly more. We have much more impact on them than men. So that's why primarily I'm working, not just through my own experience because my story resonates, but that's why I'm so passionate about working with moms, especially because that's how the generational trauma is transitioned into our kids without even knowing. We form the mini-me's through our pressure, expectations, and example, right? So my first moonshot was chatting with AI. How would it be possible for just like one girl like me to help 1 billion people? So ChatGPT gave me a plan, how to scale it, how to be able to help 1 billion people over time. And so then I came back to it and I said, well, this is a amazing plan. Thank you so much. And also, this is just a linear, exponential progression, but linear in a sense. It's the same angle where I've been already going at for the last several years. So how about there was a different angle that I already mentioned in my previous podcast episode? How about rather than trying to rewire the trauma we already started giving to our kids, so then we need to heal and then help our kids to heal, because if your kids are older than a few months, they already start getting a portion of that trauma from you. So rather than going after the fact, what if I start working with younger people, like teenagers or young adults, before they become parents, so that they can heal before it starts being transmitted to the next generation? So this was then for the AI, my second question. Well, what if I had a second moonshot? And that involved the prevention side of things. And then again, ChatGPT, of course, said, amazing idea. ChatGPT is so good at being supportive, right? And making you feel like you're the hero of whatever story you come up with. So, of course, ChatGPT loved the idea. And again, within a few seconds, gave me the entire plan on how to do that. And then my next question was, okay, great, ChatGPT. Now, knowing that I'm a recovering hyperachiever who has the tendency to burn out if I put too much on myself, how would I make sure that this is actually like a sustainable, I can translate this into a sustainable plan so that I don't kill myself in the process of helping other people? Like, I should not become the victim of my mission, right? Of my work. I still need to be the role model and example of what I preach. I need to thrive at the same time to show everybody else with whatever dream goal they have that they can make it happen without sacrificing themselves in the process, because then what's the point of it, right? That beats the purpose. So, of course, ChatGPT said, amazing idea. Again, it praised me for having such a great question. And then it helps me realize both of these moonshots, both of these missions, they are part of the same thing. They're two parts of the same coin. It's the same intention. The same goal is to heal the generational trauma people don't even know they have. And those are just two different tracks. One is helping people who already have kids and started giving it to them, and then the other one that we can start playing with and experimenting with later on is going to be about helping youngsters, and maybe doing a cheaper, like a more scalable version of the program for young people so that they could afford it and it could grow exponentially as well, helping more and more people, because this is so valuable. It is life transforming work. So this was my breakthrough, and I wanted to share it with you because that's the point. I did not start taking any of the actions there because it's huge. It's just I'm going to continue with the way I'm running, because the first step is really to grow the work with moms we are doing. But it changed the energy around it. It changed my energy around writing the book, because now the book is just one little piece in the big puzzle, kind of like a bridge between now and the future. I will be building that bridge, and each piece, each building block, like the book is now just one building block in that bigger mission. The book is not the goal itself anymore. And that's why writing that book doesn't feel like a chore anymore, because I have the sight now of the other end where I'm trying to get of the bridge, why I'm building it. And it also helps to not make it personal anymore, Because so many things, that's why it's so easy for all that doubt and all these old generational beliefs from our parents to creep in, because it's all centered around stabbing our ego. Like, who do you think you are? Why do you think you're so special that you could do that? And all of these dirty voices in your head, like the dark criticism and judgment, it does take a lot of energy to work with it. But once I built this bridge, and once I made it not as a people pleaser that I need to do it for other people, so I will be the victim, I will sacrifice myself and do it for them. No, I built it in a way like I'm still going to thrive, and this is just an expression of my purpose. And I'm actually doing this, like potentially even thinking about, touching billion people, however crazy that sounds, because I have enough to give. And I'm not giving it as a people pleaser with no boundaries and sucking life out of me because of that. But I'm doing it as somebody I have so much to give that it becomes, once I do it the right way, it becomes a source. Like I tap within a source within me that is finite. Like it's not finite. It has unlimited source, right? I don't know. I'm not finding the right words, but I hope you understand what I mean, right? And so that's why the book then doesn't feel like a chore anymore. I feel compelled and I feel attracted and I feel like, let's do this. Because I'm like, I can't wait to start, like keep building that bridge and start walking on it and seeing the impact, because it's going to fuel again and make the construction even more fun and even faster going forward. Yeah. So this is where I'm headed, but where are you headed? Where would you love to go if you knew you couldn't fail and there couldn't be any old criticism lingering in your head trying to kill it every time you make one step forward, and that it forces you to make two steps back? What would become possible for you? And what if you could start having more fun with it? Because there is nothing, like none of what I mentioned here, like I'm not doing this because I'm trying to prove anything to anybody, not anymore. What if you stopped being afraid of being judged? What if you started doing things because you feel it's coming out of something deeper within you? And it doesn't matter if people are not going to believe you, whatever they are going to think about it. You know this is what you were meant to do. If you would just allow yourself to have fun with that, like brainstorming in whatever way it works for you, with whatever goal or mission makes sense to you, whatever makes your eyes spark. Not because you're trying to prove anything to anybody, but because you're having fun. And it's the authentic you. That's what they call, like, it's the real you. And you're not afraid to show it anymore and show it fully, because you understand that the right people will get attracted to it. You'll become magnets. And yes, it will work also as a repellent. People who are not the right fit, they will automatically feel like, whatever. And that's why I love also doing this podcast, because I know it works exactly in this way as well. People who were repelled by me, they would never get so far in a podcast episode like this. The reason, if you are still watching it, if you're still listening to me, that means there's something I touched so deep inside of you, something maybe you lost touch with over time. And doesn't it feel good when something comes alive inside? And wouldn't it be fun if you get more of that feeling and more of that hope and more of that sparkle and that energy, that playful, open-ended, just like, wouldn't it be fun if I could stop worrying about the little ego-related goals and start playing much bigger game, not bigger in terms of judgment or comparisons, but so much bigger than just you. Not from a place of self-sacrificing martyr and people pleaser, but from a place of your alignment and you feeling that's why I'm here. Wouldn't it be fun if you could explore that for yourself? Yeah. So hopefully my intention in this podcast episode was to open up few of these channels, few of these sparkles in you. And as always, I love to hear from you. So if you listened all the way till here and there are some insights and there were some goosebumps moments or some tears in your eyes moments, or maybe even some like, nah, this one not for me, share it with me. I'm curious. There's a reason. There are no coincidences. There is no coincidence why you're listening to this podcast episode right now, today. It's not about when it was released or published. Like, there's something in you that attracted you here, and there's a reason behind it. Wouldn't it be fun if you start listening to your intuition and gut feeling more? Just watch what happens and let me know. Excellent. Have fun with this. I'm sending you all of my energy and love because I know it's contagious. Go and get it if you need it to get started. And then let me know what you get back. Take care, Supermom. See you next time in the Zen Supermom podcast.